All right, I am so excited to introduce our second speaker of the night. So, our second speaker is Lucy, and Lucy has hiked the closest point to the sun on Earth in Ecuador. She once sang Happy Birthday to Jane Goodall, and she plays saxophone and once started an all girls Motown band. Lucy, come on up and share your fuck up.
Thank you. All right. Hello. Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Good? Okay. All right. So I feel like Juliana's story was a great precursor to mine and my own lessons learned. So in 2019, I started my third business. So I had been building companies now for 10 years. I studied environmental studies in school, and I really wanted to create businesses that were going to make the world a better place. So my third business, EarthPup, was a dog treat business, and we addressed the food waste problem. We took perfectly good food that was otherwise discarded, so specifically pulp from juice companies, so Village Juicery was one of our partners, and we turned it into natural, healthy dog treats. So yay, and we launched right before the pandemic. And this is our OG packaging, which I bought on Amazon and then printed stickers. And this is what we just started to give out to retailers to see how they liked it. And so that's me, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, very excited about sending out my first ever order. And I was very excited that finally we were making products. Because my other startups before that, one of them was a sustainability consulting company that helped restaurants reduce waste and save money. I also had a catering business. So I was really excited to be making products. And I should also add that during this time, the way that I was working was very pedal to the metal, hustle, like whatever it takes to get it done, submitting grants at 3 a.m., packing treats at 11 p.m., and working full time. And I was just working as much as I possibly could. Burning out multiple times. I started navigating health issues, so I started having concerns around my heart, which ended up being fine, but my doctor, I remember, said to me at the time, she was like, can you do less stressful things? Can we not do that? And at the time, I was like, it's just me building this company. Like, there's no other option. I have to keep going. So we keep moving, we're growing. We ended up getting into 50 stores across the country and online. We were like an early mover in the food waste space in the pet industry anyways. And we did a big rebrand. I was so proud of the rebrand. It took 13 versions to get to this packaging. We even had, I almost included it, but we had messaging at the bottom of the pouch on the inside. So when you ran out of dog treats, it said, "This is rough, R-U-F-F, cute. It's time to stock up." So proud of the packaging. And we did a whole play on like restaurants, because myself and my partner, who was a chef who helped me make the recipe, we did a whole play with our restaurant experience. So all of our products were named after menu items. So we're moving and grooving. I love this photo because this dog looks so guilty. But the company's growing, and I'm still in the space of like, hustle harder, let's go. And my sister ends up joining the team. There we are, she's here tonight. And she joins the team. She's working full time in the company, and we're doing the rebrand. We're doing a huge relaunch. Meanwhile, I'm still very stressed out and like feeling it in my body. And around this time, a whole bunch of shit hit the fan. Like, not only are we navigating all the supply chain issues that came with the pandemic, which everyone experienced, but trying to build an upcycled supply chain where your product goes bad within 24 hours and it's not readily available in the market is a whole other layer of complexity and stress. And so we're doing that, and I remember like right around the time this photo was taken, we were doing our first production run with our manufacturer, who fell off the face of the earth, just literally ghosted us. And then I just star 69 my own number to get a hold of him, and they wasted 50 to 60% of our production run. And so basically through that, we decided, I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm gonna make a completely new product line that doesn't need a manufacturer, because we couldn't find another one. And during this time, the company ran out of money. And because we could not find a manufacturer in Ontario at all. And the company ran out of money. My sister basically fired herself and was like, do this without me. And meanwhile, I'm like, I will find a loan. I will figure it out. So she fired herself, and I was like, okay, pick up my socks, keep going, like working harder. So I, with the help of my advisor, came up with an idea for a completely innovative product line in the pet space that had never been done internationally before. Still hasn't been done. And we're like, okay, great fucking idea. We don't need a manufacturer. We just need a co-packer. Sweet. So we created the product line. It had 6 SKUs. We were about to launch a sister brand, EarthCat. And like, again, I'm pedal to the metal. Let's get it done. We're going to launch in September 2022. Sick. I go to Europe for a work trip because I was working full time through all of this. And I went for a work trip, and I was mentoring all these tech startups in the Western Balkans. So I went to Bosnia and Herzegovina for a pitch competition with a bunch of tech impact startups and had a great trip. This is me in Sarajevo, loving life. And then when I got home from that trip, I got really sick. I didn't know why. At first I thought it was heat stroke, but I couldn't eat. Like I could not get food in me. And I didn't get more than maybe 200 or 300 calories in me a day for about 2 weeks. So I landed in the ER. I saw 3 different doctors, and none of them could help me. They're like, oh, maybe you're pregnant. Yeah, take a Gravol. I was not pregnant. I had taken so much Gravol. I was trying everything to be able to get an appetite and not be nauseous all the time. And basically, it got so bad that I was faint walking around my apartment. I thought I was going to faint all the time. And I was like, okay, I have to go to the hospital for a feeding tube. I don't know what else I'm going to do. Because, I can't eat. And so I was planning on going to the hospital, and my mom said, why don't you see my naturopath? And at this point, I was like, I believe in naturopathic care, but I was like, I will do anything. I will throw any money at this, because I was like, Googling the most calorically dense foods and just like eating cashews and like going to Shoppers and being like, I'll get Ensure because it's filled with oil and calories, but Ensure is disgusting, so I didn't do that. Anyways, so the naturopath, she said to me, 9 times out of 10 issues with the stomach are related to the liver. So let's give you an IV and let's help your liver. And that's what we did. And lo and behold, I was able to start eating again. And so through that, we tried to figure out, okay, why did this happen? This is weird. And I'll save all the details, but basically after 6 months of testing and figuring things out, figured out that I had toxic mold illness. So toxic mold illness being I was exposed to, it was tested, I was exposed to the mold group that includes black mold, so the really bad one that makes you really, really sick. And what's interesting is I had the house tested and kind of figured out oh, I was probably exposed on this trip. And what was interesting is my partner, who I was traveling with, he was fine. And I asked my doctor, I was like, why is he fine and I'm not, if I had a really brief exposure to this very toxic substance? And she said to me, word for word, and I remember it very clearly, she said, your body was already under so much stress, it could not handle another thing, and this is the straw that broke the camel's back. So all the stress and all the pedal to the metal hustling, running my health into the ground that I was experiencing in my 20s leading up to this, building multiple startups while consistently working full time, my body couldn't handle it and just started to shut down. So basically what ensued was, and I'll skip through this part relatively quickly, but it's a really weird illness. It's like the stuff in TV shows. It's so strange. You get sicker before you get better because you have to detox of all this actual toxic substances in your body, and it tries to defend itself and it releases poison. It's a very strange thing. And basically it affected me. This is a really funny photo to me, by the way, and I'll tell you why in a second. But it affected me cognitively, my digestive system, my nervous system, my muscles, everything. So I started the detox process. I felt way worse because you get sicker before you get better. So because we'd run out of money at EarthPup and I was the last one running it, I had to shut my business down because I could not physically work. I would get flare-ups, it took me months to figure out what caused them and how to manage them. It was food, carbs, sugar, and fat. So this is actually what I think is a very sad but funny photo my sister took while we were with our family in Montreal, and everyone around me is eating pasta, and meanwhile I can't eat the pasta. So I'm so sad that I cannot eat the pasta because I'm so sick. So basically, like this kind of, I'll get to this part in the story in a minute. But basically, we shut the business down, and through that, I just felt like, why is this happening? This is such a fucking failure. I put so much effort and time and money into building this company that I was really excited about. And then all this shit happens, and I got really sick, and yeah, I went on unemployment insurance. And I really wanted to see EarthPup like continue on and the innovative products we created come to fruition because we had the packaging printed. Like everything was done and we had retailers lined up for this new product line right when I got sick. So we had 5 buyers who were interested in buying it. And like it wasn't, none of them were really the right fit because I really wanted to make sure that they aligned with the mission of the business, which is impact and food waste and sustainability. So through that time, when I was like this, on my couch, very unwell, I took that time to reflect on how I was working. And I was like, okay, clearly, according to the medical professional who helped me get better, I wasn't working in a sustainable way. I can't go back to working like that. I very much love building companies. And so I took that time to reflect on that and change how I was working. Because I did have to go back to work. And I changed how I worked. And it's pretty simple. It's like, okay, like, how do we work smarter, not harder? Utilizing ideas like Parkinson's law or like batching, automating, delegating, all of those things that we know but don't always actually do, and prioritizing my own well-being so that I'm not going to let myself work a 12, 14-hour day if I don't have to. I'm going to ensure that taking a walk outside is just as important as me emptying my email inbox and taking breaks and like all that stuff. So I learned that very much the hard way and was like, hey, I can never go back to working like that again. And so now what I decided to do was, instead of going back to EarthPup, I was like, I can make a bigger difference this way by just helping other founders who are making the world a better place to achieve their goals while also prioritizing their well-being and making sure they don't run themselves into the ground. Because I don't know about you, but like a 30-minute meditation, although meditating is important, it's not going to solve an overloaded schedule and calendar. It doesn't change it. So there's a combination of factors there. So that's what I do now. And like getting better, I went the wrong way. Getting better, it allowed me to get back to music, get back to working in a new way. And I'm really appreciative of the my community that I had through that whole experience. And I just really learned the hard way that, just like Julianne was touching on, you got to be a little bit far removed from your business, because I don't know about you, but it is never worth my health or well-being to run myself into the ground for the sake of work. And I learned that very much the hard way. And now I'm just happy to be here and happy to be functional again and able to eat pasta. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm just going to introduce the community. Yeah. Awesome. Lucy, thank you so much for sharing your story and being so vulnerable. I think it's so interesting, how many successful businesses, companies that are really thriving and growing, how many of them end up failing or having to stop because of founder mental health or physical health. So it's such an important lesson to really, take your health seriously as you're building your company or working a job, because at the end of the day, it's not worth your health. So thank you for sharing your story. We're going to jump into some Q&A now for Lucy.